Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. This is the business edition. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you would like to catch the show live. Well, before we jump on in, I will remind you, if you are fed up with your internet phone bill, well, your cell phone bill, whatever, I just can't talk today, consider looking at Mint Mobile. They are using T-Mobile towers, be aware of that, but with them, you can actually get a plan for 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months, pay up front for, yes, as little as $15 a month. I've been using this now since I think I switched my primary phone to this back in December. It has been working absolutely perfect. I was actually been testing the service back as far as I forget, it was somewhere around October-ish or so. Is when I started testing it. Works very well. I'm very happy with the service. You can find out more information at tlm.li/mm. So, on to the news. All right. French antitrust regulators just fined Apple $1.2 billion. That's a slap in the face. So what was going on? I read through this, and I have to unfortunately agree with these guys. Because Apple does actually do the very practice they're being accused of very openly here in the United States. Apparently does run afoul to the rules over there. It should run afoul the rules over here too, but what this is this has to do with how Apple stores are run and how Apple distributors are run. So this is one of the challenges, one of the big problems that Apple has is when you agree to sell or even service and repair Apple computers, you absolutely, with no equivocation, have to do exactly what they tell you to do. And what this says here is that they were telling the end distributors how much they could sell Mac computers and Mac other Apple products for. And it turns out that that does run afoul with French law, saying it is anti-competitive. So if I wanted to come in, for example, and buy 1,000 Apple computers and use Apple computers as a loss leader to get people into my store, you're not allowed by the contract you're doing in Apple. France says no, that's a bunch of BS. Once the people have acquired the product to sell it, they have the right to sell it for whatever, even at a loss. And that's what Apple does not, under any circumstance, allow you to do. They will not allow a retailer to sell an Apple product for under the price Apple tells them to sell it for. And that is the thing that runs afoul. So this is, of course, from Reuters, whatever, Hemreuters magazine here. And basically it says that... it says here, let's see, Apple's Watchdog says Apple's two wholesalers in France fully followed the U.S. company's instructions on how to allocate its product to customers instead of freely determining their commercial policy. Quote, Apple and its two wholesalers agreed not to compete with each other and to prevent distributors from competing with each other, thereby sterilizing the wholesale market for Apple products. They said in a statement, two wholesalers, Tech Data and Ingram Micro, were fined 76 million and 63 million euros respectively. And the authority said Tech Data had no immediate comment and Ingram Micro could not immediately be reached. French competition authorities' decision is disheartening, Apple said. Of course Apple said that. 1.2 billion, please. But it relates to practices from over a decade and discards 30 years of legal precedent that all companies in France rely on in order that will cause chaos for companies across industries. In other words, your Apple or any other product is selling their products in France. Hey, you gotta, once it's to the hands of the people selling the product, they've got to be able to choose the final price, even if it is at a loss. I don't know why I'm still on my Mint Mobile screen there. My apologies for that. All right. So next, Broadcom lawsuit blames your Netflix habit for a drop in chip sales. So Netflix says it violates patents, but competition may be the real issue. So this is just a big spat over Netflix and Broadcom. Broadcom is basically saying that they're not selling as many chips because more people are streaming on Netflix. So then they turn around, they're trying to sue Netflix, saying that Netflix infringed on their patents, and that's probably not going to win because nobody's ever won that particular type of lawsuit. And so finally Broadcom comes out like a screaming 3-year-old, not fair, and blames all of us for watching Netflix for their loss in sales. Broadcom, go open source your drivers for us in the Linux community, then we'll kind of maybe get on your side. Anyway, had to throw that one in. Ow, ow. All right. Google's Advanced Protection Program will start blocking third-party app installation. So this is a new program that you can sign up for. It's not something that's mandated. You can sign up for it. It says more security, but at a cost. I'm going to edit this. Let's say less security, but at a cost. If you follow this news enough, you will know that we have had way more vulnerabilities in apps in the App Store, well, the Play Store, than we've had people sideloading apps on the side. What the program does is it prevents your Android phone from being able to sideload anything, saying, rely on us. You know, the people who've let millions and millions and millions and millions of apps with backdoors and malwares into the system. If it's on our store, it's safe. I don't think so, Google. I don't think so at all. So this program, Advanced Protection Program, they're saying, oh, this is good for journalists, all these guys. Well, I got news for you. All of these people who need this extra privacy are going to be using the open source apps. This is a really, really bad deal for them. Honestly, really bad deal for them. Really. All right. And so you can get more information here on their on Google's webpage here. So you can say that it is for journalists, activists, businesses, leaders, political campaign teams. This is going to make sure that nothing gets on your phone except the malware that's in our Play Store. Avoid the Play Store, people, please. All right. This is from It's Foss. Microsoft set to acquire NPM. So NPM is an open source platform, basically a software repository platform. Of course, Microsoft recently purchased GitHub for $7.5 billion. Now they have acquired NPM, Node Package Manager, which basically has more than 1.3 million packages, 75 billion downloads a month, things like Node.js, a lot of these other JavaScripting packages and other things. So now we have to start looking at this and asking, is Microsoft truly committing itself to open source, or is it doing a mass scale embrace, extend, extinguish? Because they basically now control nearly every bit of the free and open source repositories out there. Very interesting. We have to ask if that's a good thing or not. And jump over to non-Microsoft owned things. So of course, this is frightening, people. This is kind of frightening. So yeah, Microsoft is now owns two of the largest software repositories. What do we have now? We have GitLabs is still yet free, and there's probably a couple of the little tiny ones. But be aware of that. Be aware of that. I don't know if Microsoft has changed their ways or not. Speaking of Microsoft not changing its ways, though, Windows 10 KB4551762 is causing major problems for some users. Yet another update was rolled out. So most people, the latest update simply won't be an issue. However, a number of users running this version found their PCs have slowed down. Some have noticed abnormal CPU and disk usage. It's always had high disk usage. Last week, details of security vulnerabilities of SMB3 were prematurely leaked online, and Microsoft issued an out-of-band security update delivering a fix. We'll fix it! We'll just break everything! Yes! That'll make sure nobody can hack into these systems. They'll just be broken, sitting offline in the middle. Everyone's going to have to switch to Linux or something else. All right, last week, let's see, I read that sentence. So this is an important update, includes all fixes from previous releases, but the patch also brought several problems. So users have confirmed in Microsoft forums, Feedback Hub, and Reddit that Windows 10, the KB455X patch, could fail to install with the following errors. A bunch of errors listed there. Automatic overnight updates have failed. Attempted 2 more after clearing everything out, still fails. When you do manage to get this bad boy installed, we get black screens, we get spinning circles, we get blue screen of deaths. We just get all sorts of fun, exciting things. And oh, look at this. We're back to our disk spinning at 100 again. Remember when the disks used to spin at 100? All my Windows systems still do. Maybe I think that might have been fixed, but now everyone's like, the disk is spinning 100%. Where have you been? This has been the biggest thing I've been complaining about in Microsoft since Windows 10 came out. It's always been spinning, for crying out loud. People, Microsoft has gone crazy. They've gone crazy. Stop! Just stop! Give us the ability to update our computers when we want to update them. Please QA your stuff. Do not use the standard users as your beta testers. Test this stuff before it gets out into the world. Please. 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 Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, so you can, of course, remove this thing that patches all sorts of problems. And when you remove this thing that patches all sorts of problems, then when you remove that, the problems go away. You're left with security vulnerabilities. But, you know, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up down there. Leave me some comments down there. And I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.